All right, David, I guess we got to do this.
Okay. Hi, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. You're always talking about finish. What do you have to say about that final offensive drive that Dak, after struggling so much earlier?
Oh, definitely. I think really it was part of the message. I talked about the finish last week. Obviously, we know what that looked like, but I think today is clearly a fourth quarter finish that will pay dividends, during the course of the season. I'm talking about December, January football. So, this is why you do 2 minute every day. The composure of, we had a number of guys get injured today. So I don't know if Tad is taking you through that. So, just a lot going on the sidelines. I thought the communication was excellent. I thought the players that had to step up, stepped up, and guys just kept fighting. Yes, we can sit here and talk about all the things that didn't go right, and I get it. But at the end of the day, you have to go win the game in the fourth quarter, and we did that today with the stops on defense, and obviously the 2 minute drive with the offense.
Tim Calshaw, Dallas Morning News. Of those things that didn't go right, was there a point in the game where you thought either this team's not ready, or this is going to be tougher than it should be, or that we thought it was going to be?
I just think it's the reality of the National Football League, and that was really part of our message this week is don't take the cheese. And don't take the cheese, a big part of that is the expectations of everybody else, because of the way you played the week before, because of your record versus your record. And that's where you get in trouble. I'm a huge believer in preparation and the path through that and how it takes you into the game. But we've all been there. I've seen preparation that was not so good and then we played great, and I've seen preparation where it was outstanding and didn't play so good. So there's no absolutes there. But the message I'm saying is we had a really good week of preparation. I would measure this week better than last week. So that's that. I just think the thing. We had a couple chances early, and I think when you get into these type of games, if you can make the big plays early, I think the game goes down a different path. But every game has ebb and flow. This is how we coach it, talk it, walk it, and you're always going to have counters. There's always usually 30 big plays in a game. They had 9, we had 8 at halftime. So we were -1 in that area. And to me, that was really the tail of the tape. And I just think with the injuries, the way our guys kept battling, and it came down to the situation that we put a tremendous amount of effort into. That's why we talk about resilience, adversity, advancement, all those things. And sorry for a very long answer, but I'm just so disappointed you guys aren't still talking with Jerry. I just can't get it out of my head. But that's what I'll think about that.
Mike Toddarch with ESPN. What were your thoughts on Dak's first 56 minutes and his last 4?
Well, we had some situations in the passing game that we'll obviously go back and clean up. Kellen and I were just visiting shortly. You give it, you emphasize, and when things aren't quite what they need to be, is then maybe we got to spend a little more time. We're still going to have the same amount of time to prepare each and every week. So our drop back passing game is something that we've done very well. We've been very successful running the football. Like I said, we had some moving parts today offensively. So our run game quite wasn't what we'd like it to be. I think we had the three negative runs, or 3 minus runs there in the first half. Actually, Malik, all 3 of them, I think were his plays. So, this is football, and this is I'm not trying to make excuses. I get what's on my chest and the expectations. I get that, but it's about winning, and we got it done today.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Coach, the obvious thing that any of us are going to draw a conclusion of is that given the records of your last 2 opponents, that you guys just didn't maybe take them as seriously and you weren't quite as into it as you would be if you were playing Philadelphia or some other team that had a gaudier record. You buy that at all?
Well, I wish I could help you out with a quote. I just don't see it that way. I see a team that works, and obviously, we measure everything that they do physically, their emotional, state. You're always trying to be in touch with that. They put the time in. So, I think Houston, I thought they played well. They're a challenge to play for. Their defense with 2 quarterbacks. So, there's some herky-jerkiness to that, and they hit their big plays. If we hit the big play on the second play of the game, maybe the first half's a little different. So, that's our league, and that's why we focus so much on the generation of big plays, because they always factor in these games. And when the other team has a couple more than you are, then you're usually in a dogfight.
Elwin Henderson, Gilmer Mirror. Mike, the fact you just mentioned 2 quarterback platooning, how much did that affect you defensively in that first half, having to adjust? Because obviously you weren't expecting that probably.
Well, I mean, we transitioned very well. I mean, we're familiar with Jeff Driscoll. We actually brought him in, here for a free agent visit a few years back. So, we we played these guys in preseason, last year. So, I thought Dan and his staff and the players handled it seamlessly. I mean, the communication, every time they swapped and, the communication was clean. I didn't see the substitution of it as an issue, but it's a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge because it's concept thinking, as far as your play call and staying on your script and getting in your Rolodex, all those things. So I thought Dan and the staff and most importantly the players did a good job with it.
Mike, you were talking about how the way you won this game can pay dividends for you in January and going forward, but what about immediately as far as keeping you in the chance to win the division and not, if you would have lost this game, it would have been pretty difficult. So
I understand your question, but we didn't. We won the game, so and that's really all that matters. I'm more concerned about the health of our players right now. So I mean, this was a tough day in that area. So and I think just we'll rally and get ready to go get Jacksonville. So did Philadelphia win? Yeah. Oh, they did. Okay. See, I'm focused on winning. So what was the score?
48.
Okay. So, hey, it's all in front of us. We just got to keep playing.
Mike, the fourth quarter stand, the fourth down stand, or let me change that, the goal line stand there before the long drive. You talk about the plays that DeMarcus and Barr and Gallimore made.
I just think also it was a good call, but just the penetration alone, and you had 2 or 3 hats there too. So I mean, obviously big play, and I just talked about the big play production. We made the big plays in the fourth quarter to win the game, and that was clearly probably the biggest.
What was their defense doing? Clarence Football Star Telegram. What did they do? Were they showing Dak different looks they hadn't seen before? You guys hadn't seen before early in the game.
No, I mean it's a matter of more of but as far as the type of coverages and quarters, I mean it's more quarters than I've ever seen Lovey play. Combination to that. So, but I mean he's a vision defense coordinator and does a great job of it. I thought they played with good vision and they were on our kit, every time the ball was thrown and caught. And so, we have to take a good look at it and make sure that, the last 2 weeks, our passing game versus vision defense. And if I was a Jacksonville defense coordinator, I'd play some vision defense based off of the last 2 weeks. That's how my mind works, and that's why we'll look at it, and we'll just make sure we're clean in what we do. So, we're not in. We don't need to change plays. We just got to be cleaner in how we're doing things.
Mike, obviously, that last drive, game-winning 98-yard drive, everybody knows the talent this team has got and the capability. It looked like when Dak and the offense went out there was never any doubt about, we know we're going to go win this thing.
Yeah, and it felt that way on the sideline. I mean, I think the first time, every time something doesn't go right, everybody wants to go, their energy's not good. I'm with these guys every day. We're not the high-pitched cartwheel outfit. Some people are, and that works for some people. So, but the focus was good. I think the biggest challenge for us was the number of players going in and out of the game. So, and I think when your boundary operation is clean going through that's a big plus. That'll definitely be something that we can continue to build off of because hey, these games are. Every one of these games is going to be a dogfight. I mean, in a lot of ways, the playoffs is already started because you got to, the importance. It's starting to be real clear what's in front of us. So, I just think you got to stay focused on that.
Mike, do you have an initial diagnosis on Steele and what he might be facing, and why did you go from Ball to Peters there at the end?
Well, I do not have an official diagnosis on Terrence, but I think the biggest thing is. You try to play to your reps. Obviously, Josh has had a tremendous amount of work over there. Jason Peters has not. He hasn't worked a lot over. So I thought Jason really did a hell of a job going in there and playing in that situation. Obviously, Jason's been in that 2-minute situation, for a couple decades, compared to Josh Ball. So, and I think just the utilization of the personnel was done very well. And at the end of the day, Josh got he had a good experience out there, but I'm hoping it's not serious for Terrence.
Stu Meyer from the Horn, 104.9 in Austin. Leighton Vander Esch, 14 tackles, 9 solo. He was definitely a bright spot today. Can you talk about what he means to your defensive scheme, especially going through the rest of the season?
Can't say enough about Leighton. I think if you're looking at what's going on, in society and particularly our league, you're having guys that are going in and out. I mean, Leighton was sick all week, so and really until today, I wasn't sure he was even going to play, and for him to go out and perform at that level just speaks volumes. I thought he played his tail off, and just especially what he's been through the last 4 or 5 days. So, what a great performance.
Can you give us a Hankins update? And also, the 2-quarterback system, I don't know if you expected them to run both quarterbacks. You guys don't.
We late again.
Just asking a different way.
Yeah, no, we've already talked about it. Yeah, I mean, I thought our staff and the players handled it very well. The rotation and obviously the concepts that you expect that out of both guys. But yeah, it's it obviously created some production for them. It's a very good method for those guys, and it definitely can keep you off balance. I have not actually. That's Tad's job. He's supposed to give the medical. I apologize. I didn't go to the training room before I came in here.
So how would you grade Joseph and how he played today?
I thought he played well. I mean, we knew going in that he was going to get some. He's going to get some opportunities. He had some. He had the one catch that we challenged. So, what'd you think of that, Clarence? The challenge?
It's a good challenge.
Good challenge. No, okay. Didn't take the bait, but anyways, it was. No, I thought Calvin did a good job. I know he felt good about it in the locker room afterwards. So I mean, when we look at the tape, I'll have better answers for you.
What happened with J-Ron? It looked like before the game he was being held up by the trainer.
Yeah, he did. He had just had a situation with his knee, and then just went inside and checked out. But obviously he was fine. Yeah. Just in the warm up. Yeah.
Sorry, again, you were talking about resilience of guys fighting for things. Schultz had a few drops or didn't make some plays when he had a chance early, and him coming up in that final drive and just staying with it.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton was huge, huge down the stretch. And I think just the biggest thing is, the way they were playing. Dalton does a great job of, finding his own soft spots, finding the quarterback's eyes, and obviously that was huge for us. But yeah, I think, as we talked about in the opening, there's a number of things we could talk about what we didn't do. We definitely want to do them better. But when it came down to that final situation, we played our best football.
You mentioned the challenge. What did they tell you on it? Why they
said New York's involved. So then they gave me the answer.
Mike, at the top you said about players taking the cheese. Great line. You think your players took it the last 2 weeks at all?
No, I don't think so. But I think it's just like anything. You have to, we have to talk about what you're going to ask them. And that's part of the journey. So, but I can honestly tell you, when they're in the meetings, we're on the practice field, because to me the real evidence or indicators are in the walkthroughs and the meetings. Does the practice start the right way? And last week, we didn't start the week the right way. So this week they came in, they were very conscientious of the Wednesday practice. We didn't have a padded practice on Thursday, but if anything, the guys went too hard. So so there was really no indicators, but at the end of the day, we won the game, and I understand what Houston's record is, but they got a lot of good football players over there, and I have a lot of respect for their coaching staff.
All righty, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.